Thank you for listening to a nighttime adventure bedtime story from nighttimeadventures.com. Visit our website to view hundreds of exciting bedtime stories for children of all ages.
The Nighttime Adventures of Molly, the Gigantic Pumpkin. Molly was a curious and adventurous little girl who loved nothing more than to embark on fantastic journeys in her dreams each night. As the sun set and the stars began to twinkle, she eagerly climbed into her cozy bed, ready for another adventure. This particular night, as Molly closed her eyes, she found herself standing in her bedroom. She glanced out the window and gasped in amazement. There, in her backyard, was a gigantic pumpkin. Its enormous size was unlike anything she had ever seen, and it glowed with an inviting, golden orange light. Molly's curiosity piqued, and she knew she had to investigate this colossal pumpkin. She slipped on her shoes and dashed into the moonlit night, feeling the cool grass tickle her toes as she made her way towards the pumpkin. As Molly approached, she noticed a small door carved into the side of the pumpkin. Her heart raced with anticipation as she cautiously opened the door and peered inside. What she saw left her in awe. There, in the warm, flickering glow of candlelight, sat an old man named Scott. He was perched on a cushioned stool, writing a letter with a feather pen. The air inside the pumpkin was filled with the sweet, earthy scent of pumpkin flesh and warm candle wax. Molly couldn't help but let out a gasp of surprise, which caused her to accidentally knock over a planter that sat near the door. The noise caught Scott's attention, and he turned to see who had stumbled upon his unusual abode. When Scott saw Molly, he smiled warmly and beckoned her to come in. "Why, hello there, young lady! Welcome to my pumpkin home! My name is Scott. Would you like to join me for some pumpkin pie?" Molly hesitated, unsure of what to make of this unusual situation. But her adventurous spirit and love for pumpkin pie compelled her to accept Scott's invitation. She entered the pumpkin house, and Scott scraped some fresh pumpkin from the wall, which he used to create a delightful pumpkin pie filling. As the pie baked in a small oven, filling the air with the most mouth-watering aroma Molly had ever smelled, Scott shared his story. He told her that he was a skilled gardener who had devoted his life to growing extraordinary plants. One day, he had come across a handful of magical pumpkin seeds. Intrigued, he had planted them, and they grew into the most magnificent pumpkins the world had ever seen. Scott had then decided to carve a home inside one of these giant pumpkins as a testament to his gardening prowess and as a cozy retreat where he could write letters to his friends and family. Molly listened to his tale with wide-eyed wonder, fascinated by the enchanting world that existed within the walls of this extraordinary pumpkin. As the pie finished baking, Scott carefully removed it from the oven, and the golden crust and warm, spiced filling looked absolutely irresistible. Molly's mouth watered as Scott cut a generous slice for her, and she took a tentative bite. The flavor was unlike anything she had ever tasted. It was a perfect combination of sweet, spicy, and creamy, and it seemed to dance on her tongue. It was, without a doubt, the most delicious pumpkin pie she had ever eaten. As Molly savored each bite, she thanked Scott for inviting her into his pumpkin home and for sharing his incredible pie with her. She knew that this was an adventure she would never forget. As the night wore on, Scott sensed that it was time for Molly to return to her own world. He carefully wrapped a slice of pumpkin pie for her to take home, and with a warm smile, he sent her on her way. Molly stepped out of the pumpkin and found herself back in her bedroom, holding the wrapped slice of pumpkin pie. She gazed out the window, but the gigantic pumpkin was nowhere to be seen. She couldn't help but smile, knowing that she had just experienced a truly magical adventure. As Molly climbed back into her cozy bed, she felt a deep sense of gratitude for the wondrous journey she had been on and the extraordinary people she had met. She knew that her dreams would continue to take her on incredible adventures, where she would discover new worlds and make lasting memories. Molly drifted off to sleep, her mind filled with the enchanting sights, sounds, and tastes of her nighttime escapade. As she snuggled under her warm blankets, she knew that she would always cherish the memory of the gigantic pumpkin and the kind old man named Scott, who had introduced her to the most delicious pumpkin pie she had ever tasted. And so, each night as Molly closed her eyes and set off on another fantastic adventure, she couldn't help but hope that one day, she would find herself once again standing before the mysterious door of the gigantic pumpkin, ready to uncover new secrets and share more delightful moments with her newfound friend.